和国中央人民政府今天成立了。
但是你们能不能？
刚才也问我啊，我可以回半点去，无可有奉告，你们也不高兴。
哎，什么叫中国共产党啊？党叫干啥就干啥。
黑夜即将到来，一定要做好准备。
但是。
干死共产党！不干死共产党，绝不罢休！
消灭中共是正义的需要。
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Exposing the CCP again. So glad to see you. Also, today we're going to discuss some interesting topics to hold Chinese Communist Party accountable with Mr. Truth007 and also Chris. Hi, Mr. Truth.
Hello, Z. Hello, Chris. Hi, everyone. Great to be here again. Thank you.
Awesome. Also, hi, Chris.
Hi, Z. And hi, Mr. 007. I'm happy to be on the show again today. Thank you.
Awesome. There are a lot of interesting things going on all over the world. And Dictator Xi is again showing his muscle, trying to demonstrate his military capability to the world. But is the world going to be intimidated? Are they going to hold them accountable for multiple reasons, CCP virus and other also tactics? And that's something we're going to discuss today. And also there's some interesting, they're very, very good news regarding the realizing the threat of the Chinese Communist Party. And let's check out the first video and we'll be right back.
Us, an overview of how exactly this compromised network works and why it's so important to sort of use that to reverse engineer the policy solutions to combating it.
So the name of it is called the United Front Apparatus, but really think of it as a political warfare machine. Think of it as you're trying to win an election in the United States every single day. That's why what the New York Times covered, and they deserve credit for this because they've been ignoring this problem for a while, over 50 organizations in the city of New York, all with ties to the Chinese government, working on behalf of the Chinese government while actually operating under American nonprofit law. So they're engaging in electioneering, which is illegal for them to do under nonprofit law. But set that aside, they're running broad influence operations to try to take out politicians who say support Taiwan and insert politicians, and they don't care the party, insert politicians that support the global agenda of the Chinese Communist Party. They also inserted spies into the governor of New York's offices. She's under indictment now with her husband They're inserting spies across governments where really you have a soft underbelly, New York, California, Minnesota, where the leadership's really not watching very closely. So what they're doing in New York, over 50 civil society orgs, they're really just arms of the Communist Party. They're operating to enhance the Communist Party's power within the United States, and then they're crushing dissent against the Communist Party. New York also had an illegal police station where the Communist Party was policing ethnic Chinese in America, in New York City itself. So that's transnational repression. That's the kind of thing that Texas said, you're going to go to jail for a really long time if you do it here. But in New York, unfortunately, they still have free reign. And I think that the FBI really needs to start looking at some of these deep blue jurisdictions, California, New York, where the Communist Party is really just running wild. I mean, Gavin Newsom is running right along with them in California. The governor of New York had spies in her office. They're now under indictment. I think you really need federal law enforcement to dig in deeply into these networks, suss them out. And if, the President Trump, he should sanction all of these entities. There are proposals to just sanction the entirety of what's called the United Front, cut off all their funding, send all the agents home, and denaturalize anyone who became a citizen of the United States by lying about their affiliations and loyalty to the Communist Party. That's what we need to win this political war just on our own soil, set aside the global conflict we have with the Communist Party.
So exactly, we can see that the espionage network of the CCP has been spreading all over the world, including the United States. As mentioned here, New York, DC, big corporations, even Congress, and many others, as we have exposed by Miles School and NFSC's intelligence, they're everywhere. So it's great to see that we start realizing the importance of getting rid of that spies inside of the United States, and that's a very good start. And what's your opinion, Chris?
I think that this type of infiltration is not only happening in the United States, but also in the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, Europe, Japan, Taiwan, and South Korea, basically all around the world. One CCP cyber warriors use one single computer to operate 20 mobile phones, with each phone managing 25 accounts, allowing one CCP cyber warrior to control over 500 accounts. So all of these countries have been infiltrated by the CCP using the same systematic approach, manipulating public opinions, controlling narratives, and influencing elections. A recent well-known successful case of infiltrating in Taiwan is the penetration of groups and NGO organizations involved in a major recall campaign. Both sides have been infiltrated. The side supporting the recall has been infiltrated, and the side opposing the recall has also been infiltrated. After infiltrating, they pretend internally to support the recall, but in reality, they carry out sabotage from the shadow. These influence the decision-making strategies for the recall, such as whether to target specific seats precisely or to recall all seats. Ultimately, this also led to the failure of the Great Recall. So in Taiwan, infiltration by the CCP is also non-partisan. The KMT has been severely infiltrated, which is a fact. The founder of the TPP, He Wen-je, is a spy cultivated by the CCP. And from Mr. Miles Guo's previous video, mentioned a long time ago that people around Tsai Ing-wen have also been infiltrated. That is to say, there are infiltrations within the DPP, but fewer people can detect it. This is why the globalization agenda can be quietly promoted in Taiwan. For example, the green energy agenda and gender equality DEI agenda. So in Taiwan, the situation is similar to that in the United States. For example, infiltrated county and city mayors. Although Taiwan elected a pro-Taiwan president, most county and city mayors, as well as neighborhood chiefs, are pro-China candidates who got elected. Although Southern Taiwan is relatively pro-Taiwan, the counties and cities outside of Southern Taiwan, just like California and New York, have many pro-China people elected. This is the strength of the United Front apparatus in infiltrating Taiwan. It is also something that the US government and the Taiwan government need to overcome in the next elections. That's how I think. Thank you.
Awesome. Really appreciate it, Chris, for your comments. And now let's go to Mr. Truth.
Thank you. Thank you for Chris's systematic comments on the CCP's infiltration by using Taiwan's elections and bipartisan example. Okay, so this same model, is no secret to the West, but in China, this has been promoted as a institutional structure to infiltrate foreign governments and to have the CCP's agenda or the globalist agenda that go into like a systematic brainwashing. They're done very effectively. For example, one person can control 500 different accounts. So what they do is they find the information first, they hack into your personal data and all your emails and information and know about you. So this is generally called by mouse called BGY. So the BGY techniques basically to find out what you have done maybe not up to the moral or legal standard, and then find out whether you have indecency relationship outside of your marriage or families. That be all used then as a bargaining condition for you to surrender to what CCP would want you to do. And if not, you get threatened and then you get ruined, basically. Okay, so that's so powerful. Nothing new about it. This kind of infiltration has been used since ancient time, but the difference is modern technology. So use the internet, easily get into your details. So no wonder that it is so hard for the Westerners, especially the United States. I mean, we can see that there's so many government organizations and non-NGOs also have been deeply infiltrated and use the same techniques, basically attacking, they probably the worst side of human nature and find out the secret information illegally and use that against you. If you are a politician, against you, whether you're a president of the United States or a governor of a province or even the local governance as well. So once you imagine we're living on the information of the internet, once those carefully engineered design techniques, okay, and they will be used as a brainwashing, and then they use both sides arguments and try and create a fight between both of you, and then that's where the fight starts. So that's really a technique that now Westerners finally Americans waking up to it. So if not hold them accountable, it can actually ruin a country by not only misinformation, disinformation, but create a chaos and conflict between the people. Okay, and in both parties and in all levels of social life. So I think this has to be stopped. And we are now, I mean, we can see that the seems all government level seems all waking up about it. I think by we continue repeat what the CCP's infiltration technique is, be alert about it. Let's hope that we can actually stop that and hold them accountable. And that's what the direction that we can see is going now. So the awareness is there, but the action that they need to be fast. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you both for elaborating more onto this issue. I think as we continue to investigate, dig out more and more information. And most importantly, Miles is the best example for CCP's infiltration. He's the biggest victims of the Fox Hunt operation in New York City and has been demonstrated and also mentioned in a lot of his cases, litigations. So ideally, if we would like him to be the witness and also to illustrate, that would be the great example. But we'll continue to watch the case and share more details about that. So let's go to the second video and see more progress regarding holding the Chinese Communist Party accountable.
The FBI Cyber Division. Last fall, the FBI and CISA attributed compromises at U.S. telecommunications providers to PRC-affiliated actors known as Salt Typhoon. Active since at least 2019, these actors conducted a significant cyber espionage campaign, breaching global telecommunications privacy and security norms. Today, we are releasing a joint cybersecurity advisory to help defenders prevent, detect, and respond to this threat. Paired with guidance from late 2024, it offers practical steps to improve visibility and detect malicious activity early. Last fall, our Washington field office uncovered forensic evidence which enabled us to notify victims about compromises. The timely, critical information shared by victims in collaboration with cyber threat intelligence and incident response companies played a pivotal role in countering the activity. Their willingness to share information in real time made this progress possible, protecting not only their networks, but the broader telecommunications sector and global infrastructure. Beijing's indiscriminate targeting of private communications demands our stronger collaboration with partners to identify and counter this activity at the earliest stages. If you believe you are a victim of Salt Typhoon or any other malicious cyber activity, I encourage you to contact your local FBI field office. I'm proud of the FBI's role in defending our nation's critical infrastructure. Defending the homeland means protecting the American people and our institutions from foreign intelligence collection and cyber operations. Today's release is a milestone in the Salt Typhoon story, but the story isn't finished. We will keep pressing forward until those responsible are brought to justice. Thank you.
I think this is a very serious statement and investigation from FBI. So we're hoping to see more and more of this regarding the Chinese Communist Party. As they illustrated here, the infiltration and internet threat is just very obvious. So we hopefully the Congress are going to start looking into this issue and have more legal cases against the Chinese Communist Party. So what's your opinions on this video, Chris?
So after watching this video, I did some research online for Salt Typhoon. You can find related reports and a report titled Countering Chinese State-Sponsored Actors, Compromise of Network Worldwide to Fed Global Espionage System. So 23 cybersecurity, defense, and intelligence agencies from the United States and other countries released a joint advisory that lists the tactics used by CCP-supported hackers in 2024 to infiltrate major U.S. telecommunications companies and urges network to search for such malicious activities. So the report states that these malicious network threat actors have infiltrated network worldwide to support CCP-sponsored espionage systems. It points out 3 Chinese companies associated with these operations, so Typhoon, including the U.S.-sanctioned Sichuan Juxinhe Network Technology, and the previous undisclosed Beijing Huanyu Tianqiong Information Technology and Sichuan Zixin Ruijie Network Technology. These 3 companies provided cyber-related products and services to Chinese intelligence services, including multiple units of the People's Liberation Army and the Ministry of State Securities. The report is co-signed by agencies from the United States, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, the United Kingdom, Czech Republic, Finland, Germany, Italy, Japan, and Netherlands, Poland, and Spain. The FBI also states that this operation has infiltrated more than 80 countries. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agencies state that the report is based on multinational field investigations up to July 2025, and these advanced persistent threats overlap with Salt Typhoon tracked by Microsoft, Operator Panda by CrowdStrike, and Red Mike by Insect Group. The report shows that Chinese state-supported hackers not only infiltrate telecommunications network, but also stole data from internet services providers and intruded into hospitality and transportation sectors to gain target communications and movement tracking capabilities while also infiltrating defense network. These APT actors exploit vulnerability in large backbone routers of telecommunications providers, particularly provides edge and customer edge routers, modifying firmware and configurations to evade detections and establish long-term access. The report indicates that the operation has been conducting malicious activities globally at least since 2021, primarily exploiting public disclosed vulnerabilities with no observed use of zero-day vulnerabilities, relying on potentially scalable infrastructure weaknesses. The report recommends prioritizing the handling of several widely exploited vulnerabilities disclosed since late 2023 or early 2024, one of which is related to the smart install features in Cisco iOS software released in 2018. So the report includes case studies breaking down commands used by APT actors in specific intrusions and provides detailed guidance for network threat hunting, warning that APT actors tend to maintain long-term access to network, and partial evictions may only alert the hackers, making them more covert and potentially interfering with ongoing investigations. The report suggests that when necessary, a comprehensive understanding of the APT actors' extent of access to the network should be obtained, followed by synchronized measure to remove them to achieve complete and persistent evictions. So that's the report I found, and that's what it mentions in the report. I think people should really go take a look at the report. Thank you.
Really, thank you. I appreciate your summary. That's very, very, very good. So let's go to Mr. Truth. Can you elaborate a little bit more based on your opinions and comments? Thank you.
Thank you for Chris to lay out this information. My personal experiences over the last, 4 years, those CCP's infiltration, espionage activity using, communication networks has been so mad in Australia. I remember over the last 3-4 years, since COVID started, there's the major network of, I think called Optus, major network of telecommunication and so on. And it was reported that all our data has been stolen by those guys, by the CCP's, activities for access. And then after about half a year, then the major medical information of all patients in Australia also has been stolen. So, and then afterwards, then one of the major 4 banks, I think, is also gets stolen as well. So you see your financial information, your medical information, your weakness and so on. And then your telecommunication with all the texts and emails, all those data get gone by it. So they're just one after another. And I think the banks cases, they suggest us the changing the PIN codes, all those. I think since then we found that there's so many different strange emails sent to you, and they fool you by, for example, if you have like a APPT, they will have APPPT, something like that. They may ask you to verify is you, otherwise your account will be shut down with the next 24 hours. I mean, this is so many. Recently, I heard the report. So many old people their asset has been stolen, their lifelong savings, because of those emails come. They get panic and then they will enter the detail. And then one man retired, 81 years old. I think that's yesterday I saw. And all his savings and pensions that self-managed bank account are empty. So I think they kind of fatal impact on people's life, security, and the security of the savings, wealth, and relationship details for, I think, if you're a politician or if you are a very important business figure, or your private communication will be like you're running naked. So I think this kind of things, if it is not alerted as the top security for the nation, there's data and information security, and there will be all subject to CCP's ruins. Because they can use this after they get your information, the whole BGY, which is a package to ensure they can hunt down every person, whether you are military or civil or politicians or business person. Okay, so if you have any opinion which is against the CCP, they can easily find out and then make you a target. I think this is so dangerous. That's why we've been told not to answer any calls you don't know, and not to reply any emails you don't know, and just delete them and so on. It's just every day you probably spend about 20 minutes just to clean up those junk informations. So if you're not careful, then you'll be subjected to become a victim. So I think this is illegal, and it is against the rule of law of Western countries, like protecting your privacy. So that should be dealt with as a very serious matter. And if everyone waken to that, then let's take down the CCP, and then they can't do anything about it. And I think it will win. But in the end, I think they've done enough bad to make every people, whether you know, whether it's bipartisan, it doesn't matter. It's your own personal security, your business, and your secret that should not be known to public, and you will be subject to, okay, the hunting down of those guys, the CCPs, because they got no restrictions, so-called unrestricted warfare of cyber warfare. And that part has to be addressed. And I think I'm glad the Western are waking up, but it seems not necessarily they seem to have an effective way to do it. I think it's a better upgrade in technology and writing more softwares just for that, I think. Thank you. Back to you, T.
Thank you very much, Mr. Truth. And I think both very important actions, and appreciate your further comments. And last but not least, let's check out the third video. It's also very important. I think it's probably from the influence or time-based influence point of view, it's probably the most important is regarding the Chinese Communist Party virus. The CCP virus has caused millions of people's death and tremendous amounts of the vaccine side effect caused by that too. So let's look at this video, and we'll share some of our opinions later.
So in March of 2020, right, like when this is unfolding, is, you know, you start to look, the CCP was well aware of COVID in November and December of 2019. There's a whistleblower, Dr. Lee, that came forward. He mysteriously died after he recanted what he saw about what was happening in the hospitals there in Wuhan. And so they knew it was real. They knew it was a deadly virus. They didn't want to do anything about it. They wanted to cover it up. And how did they cover it up? Well, they ended flights in and out of Wuhan domestically, but not internationally. China also became the largest net exporter of PPE to the largest net importer of PPE in those months. So they knew it was going down. They didn't tell anybody. And of course, the World Health Organization, which is just a puppet for the CCP, they helped hide all this too. So what does President Trump do? He says, look, this crazy thing happening in Wuhan. We're going to shut down flights in and out of China. He's characterized as the xenophobe in chief, right? All this, the left did something. You started to see the Trump derangement syndrome kind of play out on that stage too. So we saw enough. And actually my Solicitor General at the time, John Sauer, who's now the Solicitor General of the United States, just a brilliant guy who's winning a lot of these lawsuits now for the Trump administration, and was his lawyer in the presidential immunity case too, by the way. But we said, you know what, there's got to be something here. If we're reading this in the newspapers, there's got to be a lot more there. So we decided to sue Communist China, the CCP, the Wuhan Institute for Virology, for unleashing COVID on the world. And it was, look, we got a lot of criticism for it. Ultimately, now there's a $24 billion judgment out there now that Andrew Bailey's now moving on to the FBI, but hopefully the new Attorney General, you can seize assets. Chinese assets now with that judgment. And I hope that we're aggressive in doing that. But I think it was about, look, I don't care. I mean, obviously, you know, no harm has come to me yet, but the CCP didn't like that. But who cares? Like, I'm an American and I'm going to fight for, you know what I mean? Like, this is my country and this is what you did, and you ought to be held.
Exactly. I think not only this, Miles Gore was actually the one who tell the world that the CCP virus is from the lab, is from the release by the CCP back in end of 2019, and also the first one warned about the don't trust the vaccine, because if you don't know the origin of the virus, how can you develop a vaccine so quickly without studying the side effect, long-term problems, and many other things. So we got to be really careful about that as well. So what's your takeaway on this, Chris?
From this video, I think that the CCP, from this video and also the videos we watched previously, the CCP uses the method mentioned in the previous two videos to control public opinions. This is also one of the reasons why the CCP was able to successfully release the virus back then, through controlling information, controlling public opinion, and controlling narratives. And also, I remember after the CCP deliberately released the virus in 2019, the whistleblower at that time was Dr. Li Wenliang. After he exposed the informations, he was killed by the CCP. And then after the outbreak of the pandemic, the CCP closed domestic flights, but did not close international flights. The virus was carried by carriers from China to Italy at that time, and then spread to the entire Europe. Before the pandemic began, the CCP started holding masks and protection equipment and stored the mask and protective equipment in the People's Liberation Army military bases. And at that time, President Trump requested the closure of international flights to prevent the CCP virus from spreading to the United States. This was the right decision, but it was smeared by the media. In contrast, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen at that time closed the flights from China, successfully delaying the spread of the CCP virus to Taiwan. The media called this a successful decision. So you see the same decision, yet the media had different reports and narratives. This shows the media's double standard. So the CCP virus caused at least $50 trillion in economic losses to the United States. This does not include the economic losses caused by the CCP virus to other countries. All countries victimized by the CCP virus should file lawsuit against the CCP and demand compensations. Through Taiwan successfully blocked the CCP virus in the early stages. After the virus spread internationally afterwards, it eventually invaded Taiwan. The pandemic that year also caused economic damage to Taiwan. The busiest Ximending streets in Taipei was completely empty. Business closed down. People who were not vaccinated were not allowed to visit sick families members in the hospital. The whole world needs to seek compensation from the CCP for the damage caused by the CCP releasing the virus. This is also what the CCP fears the most. This is also the method to take down the CCP. Thank you.
Thank you. I think this probably will be the most effective way to take them down, because the damage has done to people all over the world has been, it cannot be overestimated. It just too vastly underestimated, actually. And we although people may have forgotten about the pandemic, they think, oh, everything is done, but the side effect from the CCP virus vaccine can be long lasting and till maybe all this century. Okay, so Mr. Truth, and welcome your opinion.
Okay, I think by what Chris and yourself just said, also the interview, Steve K. Bannon's War Room, we can see the United States already set up a precedence that the case has already been ruled, judged by the rule of law, and there is a economical damage for this particular state that there is over 20 to 30 billion US dollars, and then further action can be taken by seize the CCP's asset. Okay, CCP's asset, the United States would be, I mean, the stocks, the properties, and so on. So once that is gone through, and once the FBI start to do an investigation and the report, and the DOJ start to really issue orders together to capture those guys, CCP's agent, and then you can find more about it. I mean, it's the BioScore has all the information. So what they have committed is a genocide against humanity. There's no question about it. And the estimated damage is so huge that all the CCP is stolen money from the Chinese, hardworking Chinese people, over the last 70 years. And I think we should just expose the bank account and seize the asset, so to pay back. Okay, and then once they got no money, then they cannot do all those espionage and infiltration and all those things anymore, because it costs money for them to maintain the United Front and the espionage network. So since they already done that, I think that this video we just saw is an excellent example. They legally set up a precedent that all states, 51 states of the United States, you can all sue the CCP for damages and losses. So I think Americans need to just take the action and use your rule of law, and the evidence is abounding. There's plenty of the evidence, and the new federal state of China have so many, and that's why Moscow warned us not to take the jabs. Okay, and we didn't, and thanks Moscow, but it's so ironically that Moscow still get kept in the prison by the CCP. So we have something we have to working hard for it, but I don't think they won't be very long when Moscow get released, and he has all the intel how exactly CCP planned. It is come from the military line, and how they manufactured those viruses and send every story to the rest of the world and use the money, BGY, the science community, as well as Pfizer, those vaccination companies, and the government together with the World Health Organization. So it's all globalist united action, but the CCP definitely is the one who manufactured it, spread the virus to the rest of the world, and also participate in funding of or the manufacturing of the jabs, and allowed so many people, and there's so much side effects. People died. There's so many. So I think the evidence is there. It's up to us all. We unite together. We're good people, and the people will want to terminate the CCP, especially the new Federal State of China, because they have done. The Chinese people are the first victims, and then the rest of the Western countries and the rest of the world. So we should use the virus, the vaccines, the causes of what happened, and how is that related to CCP to take down the CCP. I think that's probably one of the most strongest things that we can take down the CCP sooner than later. Thank you. Back to you, Z.
Thank you so much. We had a great time discussing the recent act to hold the Chinese Communist Party accountable, and hopefully eventually take them down in the short period of time. And really appreciate Mr. Truth and Chris for joining with me to discuss this. Happy for the audiences to be with us today. So please stay tuned, and we're going to continue to discuss more actions toward taking down the Chinese Communist Party. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.
Thank you. Let's take down the CCP.
Take down CCP.
Thank you. Bye.
他们的恐惧是我们的武器，我们的胜利。谢谢了，兄弟姐妹们，你们健身了吗？行动，行动，行动！中共，你完了 ！Take down the CCP！
Beginning, but the games you want to play. Bring it on and now we'll fight to the end. Just watch and see. It's all started, everything's begun, and you are over. Cause we're taking down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all life for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. Let's take down the CCP. And the bullets flying little. the bullets fly a little longer.
中共，
Let the bullets fly a little
你
longer.
完了！
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
中共，你完了！干灭中国共产党这个 CCP， 还能让我们远离恐惧。Take down CCP。
They try to scare the nation with fabrication, but we see through the lies. People fall, people fight you back. Police corruption with crooked assumption. They ran our lives, but no more. We will win. We will take down the CCP. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. We will fight till they're all gone. We rejoice when there's no more. Let's take down the CCP. They have all lied for too long. We will end what they do wrong. Spread the word all through Hong Kong. Let's take down the CCP. Let the bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. Let the bullets fly a little longer.
站起来吧！
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
站起来吧！
Let the bullets fly a little
为
longer.
奴役的人们
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
行动！
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
行动！
Let the bullets fly a little
你
longer.
完了！
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer. Bullets fly a little longer, and you will surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer. We will have freedom to live. We will win. You'll surrender. Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down
Let the bullets fly a little longer.
Take down the evil CCP.